Hey YouTubers, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. Enjoy the video. Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super, and Dragon Ball Z discussion, I guess, this time. And I am once again joined by MJ. Why don't you say hello, man?
Hello, man. What's going on? I'm ready to record this new discussion video with you. Let's do this.
There you go. There you go. I love the energy, man. I love the energy. Anyway, guys, today we're going to be talking about Uub, and basically, even though a lot of people hated Golden Frieza and everything that came along with the Resurrection of Frieza arc, I think, personally, just in my own opinion, the way that that was handled, both on the movie and the series, you know, quality be damned. I think the one thing that we need to take away from that as a fandom and as a logical base for the series to actually tell us is the fact that Frieza's progression during that particular arc and his, you know, training over 4 months, making him stronger than Goku and Vegeta going forward, or, you know, just because he lost, because he didn't realize just how much energy he was losing, or he didn't care. He was so headstrong on killing Goku and Vegeta that once he reached that level of power, he was able to just go out and he was going to be able to kill them lickety-split, no problem. And even to the point where he was able to, he got to so strong, he was able to actually take on gods at that point. So the cool thing about that, and the one thing a lot of people don't pick up on, is the fact that it gives a lot of credence to Uub's character at the end of Dragon Ball Z. Because even if Super, being in the time skip that they are, never gets to the end of Dragon Ball Z, never rewrites it, never skips past it or anything else, no matter what Goku does from this point on, fighting Beerus, fighting Golden Frieza, fighting Zamasu, fighting Hit, and fighting everyone else, it still gives a lot of credence to Uub's character and just the raw potential of Uub going forward. Because if Frieza can get so strong so quickly and all that, like, in such a short amount of time without even really trying the same level that Goku is going to make Uub try going forward, then that last scene in the end of Dragon Ball Z where Goku's like, once I'm done training you, you and I could fight, and that would be really super awesome. And he was like, sure, I wouldn't mind fighting you again. That would be really cool. And Goku's like raw excitement at the end of that scene, a lot of people don't like that ending, but I really do. The raw excitement still matters, and it still makes sense considering just how strong Uub could possibly get if Goku actually makes him try training, if we let Frieza be a scale. So MJ, what are your thoughts on that, man?
I agree with you on that. A lot of people have talked about how the ending doesn't make sense anymore. In fact, I think I made a reference to why it doesn't make sense anymore, but what you brought up to me when you told me this off air, and now listening to you actually talk about it in this different format, I feel you on this. I feel like the fact that since we've seen Frieza was born with this overly strong power, and he had the potential to be great, but he never did anything about it. And then Uub, who's just born with this potentially strong power and has to make Goku actually try a bit, you know, like unleashing the Kamehameha. And if you know from back in Dragon Ball, Goku doesn't unleash that move unless he's actually trying, you know what I mean? Like, unless he's actually in a fight. And even though Goku didn't go Super Saiyan, he was still fighting as hard as he could in his base form against this guy. Can you imagine training him? Can you imagine taking him to Whis' place, training him at Whis' place? Can you imagine the raw power, the raw potential that Uub has? That, like, he has, like, pretty much unlimited heights if you think about it, you know? Like, he could get to such a strong degree of power to where, yeah, that ending does make sense. Goku's, like, pure excitement, that raw excitement of just wanting to be able to fight, like, this ultimate being or the strong being in Uub after years and years of training, it still makes sense. And, I mean, you mentioned the whole Frieza stuff. Yeah, Frieza trained, what, 4 months? Can you imagine training Uub for like 3 to 6 years? Like, how strong he would be after that point. It's like he can reach Kid Buu potential and then in beyond, you know, way beyond. I mean, we've seen characters like Goku and Vegeta say they're at their limits, and they constantly get stronger after every arc. So just because Uub is a reincarnation of Kid Buu, that doesn't necessarily mean Kid Buu is his limit. You know what I mean? He could get far stronger than that, in my opinion. Especially if Goku takes him to go train like at Whis' place, or Goku teaches him a lot of the stuff that like Whis taught him. Can you imagine Uub unlocking God Ki and being able to use God Ki to his own potential. I mean, that would be insane. I'm not sure what you think of that, but that would just be incredibly insane, and it still makes sense, and that could still fit in with the ending.
You know, one of the things you were talking about before we, like, the thing that brought up this conversation just in general for those listening is the fact that you were saying just how, you're talking with Mike from Laughing Stock Media, and how the concept of Frieza broke the power scaling twice. And I mean, think about that. You were saying like something's like, you know, Vegeta at the Saiyan arc versus Frieza at, you know, Frieza's final form is like what, a 6,000
times power difference, and that's literally an arc right after the other, you know. It's
and it just got me thinking like about this old argument that I've been making with a lot of people, how Dragon Ball Super, you know, for all of its faults, which there are a lot of them, we necessarily cannot be any more critical of Dragon Ball Super if we tried, even though we continue watching it, we continue really enjoying the arcs and everything going forward. I feel like it's just getting cooler and cooler and more exciting to talk about as it goes on. But even that, it's really hard to say, at least for me, that Dragon Ball Super has ruined the ending of Dragon Ball Z. In fact, it's only made it more exciting or more enthralling and all this other stuff going forward, because Frieza, for all the faults that they had, helps really explain and give a lot of credence to the ending of Dragon Ball Super, and helps explain, even if all this stuff happens, it's almost the only thing it's necessary for, because even if all this stuff happens in Dragon Ball Super going forward, we have Uub, and if they continue to have that ending, Goku's excitement at the end of that arc without Frieza, without that little retcon where he can go and train and become so incredibly strong just because he always had the potential but never tried. If they don't put Frieza in there, the ending of Dragon Ball Z is like wasted at that point, because even if they didn't necessarily showcase that type of potential for someone like Frieza, and Kid Buu being how many more thousands of times stronger than Frieza just in his base, not even trying, never tried, just unlimited killing force. And Uub is that reincarnation. Never showing that how progressive that could become really hurts the ending of Dragon Ball Z, because Goku would not be excited to fight Kid Buu anymore. Like, if he can make Uub as strong as Kid Buu, like, that would be plaything for Goku. Just like literally flick him and he's done. But seeing the progression that can be made, and knowing that Uub is still a force to be reckoned with going forward in everything, personally, that's interesting to me. That would be something I'm willing to see. I think a lot of people would be willing to see. I'm not sure they're ever going to get there, but seeing that, giving kind of a passing of the torch in the right context. You know, like he said, giving Uub, making him go to Whis' planet, maybe even giving him some kind of godly duties or something, because he is a reincarnation of Uub or Buu, who was an immortal being or something. I know a lot of people have talked about in the past. Will be really interesting. I hope they kind of do it at some point. And if I could find anything of a silver lining with Frieza coming back in Dragon Ball Super, it would be that. And I feel like a lot of people do not think about it that way.
Also, just to throw in here before we get out of here, I know people might bring up the fact that I'm losing my voice. I think people might bring up the fact that we're wrong because Frieza was a prodigy, which is not exactly the case, because when you see Kaba take on Vegeta, Vegeta tells Kaba, just keep on training and you can reach my level of power. Even hit someone who never thought that he could increase himself or advance himself. After fighting Goku, he found a way to advance himself. Even Beerus, the god of destruction, Whis is his master and teacher, meaning that even Beerus has trained before, and the Goku and Vegeta, you know, breaking their limits over and over again. Just because Uub is the reincarnation of Kid Buu does not actually have to be his limit. He can still grow beyond it and get stronger, especially if he's training with guys like Goku and Whis, or even just Goku in general after Goku training with Whis and Beerus. You know what I mean? It's like he can constantly grow and get stronger. I'm just saying that because I know people will probably bring up the fact that, oh, Frieza's a prodigy, that's the only reason he did it, which is not exactly true. Any character can grow. Look at Krillin and Tien, you know, Trunks, they're humans. He's half-breed Saiyans. Look how strong they got. Uub can get stronger. I'm just pointing that out there. You know, that
Uub can not only can Uub get stronger, but Uub can continually grow and he is at a level. If we saw him, Goku was going hard in that fight, and if we put Dragon Ball Super continuity into all that, which I think you kind of have to at this point, and how strong Goku's base is, even if he wasn't going all out, but he was at least going, as a lot of people have discussed, like if his base is Super Saiyan 3 level, which would make absolute total sense, considering the fact that it took Super Saiyan 3 to fight Uub, or to fight Kid Buu in its own context. The point is going forward, it would be really interesting for us to see that going forward, like in terms of just how strong Uub can get if he can continually, you know, reach higher and higher levels when he has that prodigy base in him. Because like I said, and I think the point of this is, like Frieza having a base of about 150 million, Uub at least theoretically should have a base of millions, you know, like just outrageous base. And if he were to extend that, it would be interesting to see.
That just sounded funny to me. He has to have an outrageous base.
He does have an outrageous base. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like power scaling is so freaking ridiculous going forward in Dragon Ball after Frieza. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It just sounded funny, like the way you're like an outrageous base. Okay, but yeah, I get what you're saying. That he's a lot stronger than Frieza, just, you know, in his base form in a sense, and then he still has the potential to get stronger. You know, so he should get a whole lot stronger than Golden Frieza, in my opinion. Especially if you have Goku training him, especially if you have SSB Goku training him. You know what I mean? That's that's crazy.
Yeah,
poor Vegeta.
It's super.
You know, Goku's gonna have another rival. Vegeta's gonna get kicked to the dust again.
Anyway, guys, hope y'all really enjoyed this video. Been wanting to do it for a long time, kind of get that out there, because I know Golden Frieza has his haters, but at the same time, I feel like it was necessary, and I think if it did anything, it gave some credence to the ending of Dragon Ball Super and made it a little bit more believable and a little bit more exciting to see exactly where Uub can come from and like how he can grow going forward if Dragon Ball Super ever reaches that point, or whether they do anything with that going forward. So please make sure to go check out MJ. Please go show him some love. Go check him out. We've done some videos together, both on my channel and his. I hope y'all have all seen him before, but if you haven't, please make sure to go check him out. Subscribe to him, show him some love, comment, rate, subscribe to this video, and we're going to catch you on the next discussion video. Bye.